matchup, it feels like it's going to be pretty heavily favored to VP.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people walked in this DPC season expecting, a couple top teams to have like 5,000, 6,000 points. VP, 10,000 points. Like, okay.
That's such an absurd number.
And that's before this event here, where they could just add like another 3,000 or 4,000 or something if they get first place. So very much the favorites coming to this one. And like the panel said, feels like their draft is a little bit favorable. Definitely a lot more options. Really good last pick Medusa. You called this one, Cap. Credits to that. What are you liking about the Medusa here?
Wait out the chat wheel.
Yep.
All right, now we can have a discussion. I love the Deuce because I think it beats both the matchups of the Ember Spirit as well as the Bloodseeker. And I think you had the option to be able to run the lanes against that as well. I think I've seen Deuce versus Bloodseeker, and it feels okay. Lina versus Ember Spirit or Bloodseeker would obviously be much better for the laning phase. And I think if you're VP, you already felt pretty comfortable with where your draft was at laning phase-wise. And you just needed a core that would outscale the rest of Secret. And I think that's why Secret banned away the Spectre, right? Is that that would be the big threat. Secret don't actually have the heroes to end the game very quickly.
We've seen most of VP's games and drafts go late game and always scale well. Like the series against LGD, I think they kind of fell off that a little bit. Also, they were against Nio, but we saw them have these good early starts, but they didn't have the strong late game to fall back on. And since that series, they've gone back to much more late game oriented play.
Yeah, I think maybe in their head they thought they would be okay. Remember, they had the OD in the second game, and it just seemed like the Wisp was still too strong paired up with whoever it is. It also means it's one of the better safe laners at dealing with laning phase pressure, and we're going to see that here. The Mirana Sky is going to be matched into the Deuce lane. Up at top mid lane, we're going to see No One's Lina face up against Mid One's Ember Spirit. And in the safe lane, the Winter Wyvern and Bloodseeker paired up against the Pasha Slardar and the Solo Bane. So if you're expecting a core Night Stalker, that is not the case. It's been core Slardar.
Interesting little setup here. We see Puppy with the Orb of Venom first. He's going for that heavy harass to try and just support Ace. Anytime you can get people as low as possible, Bloodseeker's going to be looking pretty good. So same thing with Fata and Yapsa on their off lane. They know they've got this safe lane Bloodseeker. That lane's just going to be enabled by more and more harass happening in those other two lanes because of the Bloodthirst.
All the more important to have healing salves early. See, Ramsey's actually going to have like a good 50 damage taken away from his. Does not have the Mana Shield yet. He opted for the Mystic Snakes, so he is really feeling the pressure of that early level 1.
Tough lane for Medusa. Definitely one of her weak spots is the lane stage, often laned in mid so you can get those early levels because she gets tanky with levels. Points in Mystic Snake and Mana Shield are much needed, but safe lane in a dual lane, a little bit tougher to get what you want as a Medusa.
Okay, so our panel said, look, this is going to be a hard game for Secret, but here's the way they can win. And they identified, look, you need to be able to have a draft that gives you a decent shot at being able to beat VP. And you also have to have strong lanes. You can't just get rolled over by the Virtus Plow in the first 10 minutes. It's looking like the laning phase is pretty good. Are we good with the draft as well? Do you think Secret actually gave themselves a winning chance here?
I think we'll be truly tested like around that 10 to 20 minute stage when Secret are going to feel pressured to make moves because they will not be able to scale late game against the Deucelina. Harass down bottom, they're getting low. This is where you need to pop those salves against Bloodseeker, and the hard part of Secret is their initiation is really just the Ember Spirit. So your one initiator is in a core role. It's going to be a lot of pressure on mid one to have a good game.
See the threat there. Being able to have a
mid lane.
Oh, mid one? Lots of healing salve. That
does not feel good, even though you live.
Yeah. He won't give away the first blood, but he's going to have to go back to base anyway. The Enfeeble placed onto Ace is allowing them to actually do a lot of battle here. If they can get a couple more shots in, plus a Brain Tap, it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Fata actually goes for the dive in the top lane, managed to get the first blood there. Back over to bottom lane, they do manage to land the stun and finish off the Winter Wyvern, but Ace managed to get a healing salve off and is thinking about going for the kill onto Solo, but can't quite get them low enough. The Bane is just a bit too tanky and a little bit too hard to fight with that level 2 pickup of Enfeeble.
Yeah. Too many teams, I feel like part of the Bloodseeker is too many teams run away from him. You're running away from him when you're low, that's not a good plan. If he's blood raging himself from running at you, turn and fight. Throw a stun, throw a slow, and just hold your ground. He gets extra squishy, particularly in the lane stage before he gets items, and we've seen it a bit here in this bottom lane. Anytime they're trading hits a bit, anytime Ace uses blood rage on himself, instantly VP are just going to hold their ground, man up, and say, well, we actually do more damage to you than you deal to us.
And it's the nice little plays, right? They just TP back on the Bane. He didn't try and stick it out until 5 minutes when the Shrine was up. He didn't walk back to base. He just instantly TP'd from the middle of the lane just to make sure that Bloodseeker had less time. And now he's going to go for a smoke gank onto mid. See if he can set up an early kill onto no one. Passes over the bottle, hoping that it was outside of vision. The mid one won't pick up that it wasn't a courier delivery, but actually a support. Meanwhile, Pasha does end up going down the bottom lane.
Yeah, Solo, his smoke wears off, so he's going to walk past an observer ward. They know of his presence in his mid lane, so interesting little idea, delivering the bottle while smoked and trying to set up a gank, but it's not going to lead to much. And not sure whether Secret knew he was missing from the bottom lane or just saw a good opening, because good kill on Pasha. Finding that opening when the support is away, Solo's going to probably regret that rotation towards mid.
This last pick, Mirana, seems to be faring pretty well. 18-10 right now, CS, ahead of the Dusa at 17-3. The double-ranged off lane feels like quite the pain to deal with. And sure enough, our Dusa suffered a lot in that first level and seems to be performing a little bit under par for CS as well.
Yeah, and already double blades plus Aquila on Mirana is so much right-click damage. That's going to make it incredibly difficult for Medusa to get last hits, except with Mystic Snake.
The Bounty Rune is picked up by Solo, but Solo's going to be in serious trouble here. Ace does still have the Enfeeble off, but with such low HP heroes, he still has the damage to be able to bring him down. Going for Pasha next. Pasha did have a stun, so he will be okay. That 5-minute shrine is up, but still, they won the Bounty Rune, the other one for Puppey, and they won the battle. Now, Puppey is going to drop a bit low. Bane. Solo is not trying to cut him off. It's just going to be Pasha trying to run him down. The Blood Right goes out. Puppey huddled in a corner here. They're going to try and sandwich him in. Pasha goes to the sprint, hits the stun, finishes off the Winter Wyvern, and they can do some damage on Ace as well. Mid lane, Midwan dropping low, does have level 1 Flame Guard that'll dodge a bit of damage, but it's mostly physical coming at him. The last nuke from no one overwhelms the Flame Guard. They pick up that kill, and now they can go for the dive on the Absol as well. Roger may be a bit low underneath the tower. They do have the Winter Wyvern TPing in, so VP give up on that dive, but Ace, he's made his way over here with a slow, and the Blood Right nuke, they're going to be able to easily take down this Lina. Ace goes on a killing spree, but it does force him to rotate out of his lane.
Yeah, it was pretty calculated from VP initially, knowing that those TPs are going to come in slowly. Puppey's TP very slow. What they did not calculate is that Ace was already nearby. Because he got low, he was at the Shrine area, so he wasn't in the bottom lane. A rotation like that, you just don't expect. You expect if Ace wants to go there, he's going to have to TP in, and not the case. And yeah, really nice solo kill from Fata. He is crushing it up top.
Speaking of crushing, Pasha, he hits the crush onto Ace after the Nightmare setup. Going to try and get in front of him here. Now the sprint is worn out, he can go for the body block, but Ace just goes the other direction. Solo is going to get him pretty close to low. Pasha has a sprint up, and he has a crush as well. Ace is just not going to be able to juke this one out. He stays in vision, and together they bring down the Bloodseeker next to his tier 1 tower. Ramses has given up on that lane, apparently. He's now going to be occupying bottom. Wants to stay away from that Mirana now.
Really big concerns about this mid lane, which keeps getting pressured.
Trying to go for mid-one, but Fata and Yaptor make the silence play onto the Lina, taking him out. Laguna Blade does go down, but it only brings Yaptor down to half HP. A huge win for Secret. That rotation, the first pop of the Moonlight Shadow as well, paying out some big dividend.
And recognizing which hero is most equipped to kind of counter gank and make these plays to kill Alina, it's Fata's Mirana. Level 6 already, off to a fantastic start. He's the one that can actually help out turn that kill around, and Lina doesn't have any escapes or way of dealing with a Mirana once you get left on. You use your stun to initiate on the Ember there, and you're just completely screwed.
Fata trying to get an angle there for an arrow onto mid lane, but it's actually going to be caught by Pasha and Sol on the high ground. Waking him up, Fata will turn and fight, gets a Starstorm out. The arrow will not land. Just constant fighting around this mid lane.
Yep. The aggression really let off for now. Ramses has rotated bottom, which is also where Fata felt very free to leave that top lane. He's like, well, there's no Medusa here. I may as well go for this gank on mid lane and give Puppey a lane to play. And Winter Wyvern, a fairly level-dependent hero. You don't really rotate at all. You have no real ganking potential. Definitely one of the more farm-dependent fives, partly why we don't see the hero all too much. And the movement from Fata helping enable Puppey to get to where he wants to be as a support.
Enables mid one as well, right? The matchup was already going to be a little bit unfavorable for him. You could see the CS is there's a very wide difference between the Lina as well as the Bloodseeker. But now that we picked up a couple of kills, we've gotten the level 6 on the Ember Spirit, like life is just a lot easier for him now. An arrow is going to come out. The slowed down Ramses will not feel the bite. Be okay. 6-4 with just shy of a 1k gold lead for Secret.
Moving towards bottom with an invis rune on his Lina. Secret did know he had an invis. They're actually scanning mid, expecting him to be on the high ground here. Okay.
And since he's not there, they're going to go for the kill onto the Bane. Now the Lina's going to wrap around a little bit late. This Sleep does manage to dodge the Blood Right, which means he managed to get off. Good to Blake, finish him off mid-1. Now Ace, he's going to be hit by the LSA as well. Roger will slow him down with the Void, turns around, gets off the Rupture. It doesn't really matter though. BP could just hang out next to the tower bottom lane. Ram's going to go behind the tower, easily brought down by the big nukes. Pasha TP's in, just a little bit too late to be able to protect him. Puppey protects himself with the Cold Embrace, but he's going to be susceptible to another crush, and Pasha has it. Fada tries to go for the dive, Starstorm out, nuke on a Bane, that'll finish him off. Now the Winter's Curse laid out onto the Slardar. Fada will die with the corrosive haze still on him though. May have been able to save him from Pasha, but not from the tower.
You see, both these teams have such a good understanding of how these rotations affect the game. Secret scan mid, and they're like, okay, he's not here invis, let's go for this kill, but he's still flanking in. And the second Secret then see the invis lane mid, they know that Ramses is completely alone and that they need to go on him. They have to get a trade somewhere on the map, otherwise it's a completely lost fight for them, and really good call for them to dive for the kills, but BP similarly reacting. They TP in +1, they get the return.
Secret, 3 bounding rooms. I think it was it BP who got 3 of them last time? I can't remember.
I do not remember either.
Feels like both teams are making an effort to exert some map control about 20 seconds before those bounding rooms spawn. Nice aggressive wards, as is Solo's signature move.
Yeah, they seem to always just understand where their opponents are better than Secret understand where they are. Really good wards being placed, seeing them around in the jungle.
Oh, nice catch. That's a pretty common, I would say, defensive ward over the last 2 or 3 months to see some of these rotations into the Radiant jungle. And Solo, he's certainly done his homework.
See if Secret can make some more plays. They've got Moonlight Shadow back up again, which was what they managed to get some good Lina kills on earlier. But since those 2 deaths on no one, he has gone back to farming, found some more plays himself, and it really does feel like mid-1 on Ember needs some room to keep on farming.
Ramses also needs that room. We're going to see him play with the dire triangle, which is so common. They have super good vision, though. Right now, if you take a look at these wards, they have 4 different wards up, and Secret have just, what, 1 ward on the bottom lane? They got another one near top, actually.
Very big difference between the 2 teams. VP didn't have that much vision for a little while, and then suddenly, you know, solo smoke to get wards down, something you don't see all too often. But this stage of the game, when you want to protect your farmers, particularly a Medusa who's kind of fallen behind, it's a very good idea to get the vision down as he's done.
And now they're going to have the Night Stalker advantage as well. Have the darkness. Oh, I guess we're heading into daytime.
Popping, I guess, you know, keep Secret a little bit on the back foot. Not sure if he was actually trying to find a play there. And VP will smoke up mid. 2 supports with a level 6 on Bane.
Oh, they're going to be able to burst down Ramses. Looks like he got hit by an arrow into the Skywrath Mage ultimate. They're going to chase him down. Winter's Curse to interrupt the Night Stalker and reset up on him with the Blood Right. The big nuke of damage kills him before he could possibly TP out. A ward behind the tier 1 tower. They had smoked on VP earlier with the Lina and Bane. And if he gets the Fiend's Grip, and he does, the TPs are going to come in, but they're just going to throw everything they have to make sure the Ember Spirit dies. Solo may die on the way out here. Fada trying to get the arrow from the side angle. Doesn't quite get it. Solo turns around, braving the nukes for Brain Sap.
Yeah, I don't even know if he meant to leap that direction. May have been trying to go for the sideways leap, but that was his only charge, so he couldn't chase. Once no one uses all his spells there, you are a little bit freer to go diving in. Very quick play from VP. They see, again, the rotation bottom lane. Ramses died. It's the same thing as we saw before, just the other team doing it. Bottom, last time it was Secret reacting to VP ganking. This time, VP see a kill, lose a hero bottom, and immediately jump on the mid lane for that kill. Once again, it's Solo also getting such great deep vision. Good use of these early smoke.
BP, a little bit tired of playing these pickoff games, are actually going to be rotating most of their team down to this bottom lane. Roger will play pretty far forward to break smokes, just like that one, protecting his team from a heavy rotation from Secret. Now they're still going to try and loop through the lane. Roger's going to spot them with the nighttime advantage that they have, and they actually catch out Ace with the nighttime vision of the Slardar as well. He's going to be gone on the corrosive haze, makes him so squishy, but they do manage to get the save out with the Winter Wyvern, and to get the curse onto Roger. He's so low, but Ace, he actually gets cold embrace. He was trying to go for the kill onto the Night Stalker, but he will be saved. No nukes just yet. They still have the vision of him. Solo slowly finish him off. One last shot will catch him towards the backside. Ramses is just challenging mid one right now with the corrosive haze on him. He can't deal with that physical damage. Solo keeps himself alive with the brain sap. Meanwhile, they do finally go for the dive onto the Ember Spirit. Couldn't get out with the remnants any longer. Solo slowly limping away, but Ramses and Pasha will cover his exit. 3 down on the side of Secret. All 3 cores, too.
Really
and a 4th one.
Wow, yeah. Using this vision so well, the deep wards, the corrosive haze, enabling them to just land all their spells in these fights. Secret's like trying to play around the side lanes, the trees, trying to stay in fog, but you just can't do that when you've got wards behind towers. Everyone's getting amped up by the slaughter, and that just allows heroes like, you know, Night Stalker to chase people through trees. Medusa would always be hitting them with the split shot. They didn't even have Stone Gaze for that fight, but Medusa on the front line's proven just to be a little bit too tanky.
At least they do get the deny on that safe lane power, but if we... I'm not sure if we're going to see a replay from that last fight, but it felt like there was a lot of disjoint there between the different Secret members, right? There were so many misplays, I would think, that overlap spells like the Winter's Curse plus the Sky Ult. Nice Nightmare there from Solo, dodging the arrow, but unfortunately for him, Yapster was in the neighborhood, and his nukes are just a bit too much. Now, Ramsey's a bit low. He does have the double damage, as well as Pasha beside him, but Pasha has already taken the damage. Puppy's going to try and kite him around. Ramses will TP out. The nukes won't be able to catch him. Pasha trying to run away. Winter's Curse into an arrow. Arrow actually misses there, but they may still be able to pick up the kill if they can get instant damage, but they don't have anything, so he just jumps out of the Winter's Curse as soon as it fades.
Similar to the small little misplays you talked about last team fight, again we see it there with Secret. Not everyone on the same page about who's using what spells at what time, because that should be a straightforward Winter's Curse into arrow setup, but both Puppy and Fata use their spells at the same time, and the end result is the arrow misses, the Winter's Curse doesn't get the kill, and you see here Secret finally addressing this big vision problem that VP has.
Roger, are you fast enough to be able to catch this courier? He flies into the base, but he's not faster than him. He's going to have to counter TP, but Murata might be able to land the arrow. No, the animation is just slightly too long.
Middle tower is under attack.
I guess it was a good little trap. Somehow he knew that the shield had already been popped on the courier, but just didn't quite have a fast enough Night Stalker, I guess.
I love this ward from Soul. He just rewards the exact same spot that's dewarded. This is something I don't think enough supports do, because even if they put the sentry right where that ward is, you no longer get the ground vision for it. So it's very rare that teams will like recheck a spot they just dewarded 20 seconds later.
Yapster's been doing his homework as well. Managed to catch the ward behind the tier 1.
I have not seen Solo do this double ward play all that often though, so I don't think this ward will get dewarded anytime soon. It gets pinged. I think that looked like Roger pinging it out though.
Pasha did get spotted, I believe, in this top lane. Mid one cut down one of the trees. And I think he opened up that area enough to spot that Pasha TP'd in. So he's going to play pretty far down south here, away from that potential initiation.
Definitely a game where vision has proven to be key so far. Radiant Observer, Sentry Trap scouting out, no one moving around on his Shadow Blade. If he can find some pickoffs with this, then you're looking at VP taking control. But so far, Secret's done a pretty decent job of not letting him get too out of control. Problem just feels like that Secret aren't getting enough here in the early to mid game. This 10 to 20 minute stage I talked about, you need to be making moves around the Ember Spirit initiation. Problem is, mid one's Ember got destroyed. He was like number 6, number 7 in net worth for a lot of this game.
No one got spotted, but unless mid one didn't get off the sleight of fist. He hit Chains first.
He knew there was just a small little window. The Fire Remnant took too long to come in, and perhaps tried to slide a fist earlier during the Fire Remnant animation.
Moonlight Shadow, they back out of vision and push forward. Now there is that Dire Sentry there, so they will have some idea. And Ramses immediately starts backing out. Seeing that Ember Spirit is enough information to know that they're probably heading up to that top lane, trying to gank the Dusa once again.
I even pinged. It looked like Puppy coming out of Invis to plant the ward may have been slightly spotted there, so VP not interested in playing around the top lane for now. They're farming their jungle, they're pushing mid lane. They expect Secret to be up top with 3 or 4 here.
I think this is the perfect response, right? Like, you know they headed up to the top lane. You immediately put pressure on mid, and it's very hard for Secret to double back and protect this tower now. So if they trade out tier 1s, especially this mid tower, seems to be all important. VP do get a slight advantage just off that trade-off, as long as they don't get caught. But mid one, he's going to jump in with the smoke. He's going to be able to catch Selena. Pasha comes in, manages to hit a big stun onto mid one. Saved by the cold embrace. The bounce back, Nightmare buys a little time for the Lena, but he's still silenced up. The Bloodright catches him as well, and finally he does go down. Solo's not making it anywhere. He got ruptured and brought down. Ramsey's still standing tall, and it looks like Secret do not want to fight into him here, knowing that he still has the Stone Gaze as well, and everyone feels a little bit low. Mid one, well, managed to get the air onto the Night Stalker with the Bloodright coming out with the chains, locking down these heroes. They're going to try and TP out. The Night Stalker goes down. Pasha dies as well. A TP away from Ramses is the only successful out for VP. They got cocky. They tried to take a 3 versus 5 next to or 3 versus 4 rather, next to a tier 2 tower, and completely lost that engagement.
Absolutely, and that was such a good fast move from Secret from top to mid. The tier 1 trade was not favorable for them, and I think partly because Secret recognizing, hey, we're in the worst end of this one. We gotta go make something happen here. Ember mid one's probably finally telling the team, all right, I'm gonna go initiate, because he is the one who has to start these fights, and he did such a good job just charging in, tanking these spells, and still being kept alive.
And Fada holding onto his arrow, waiting for the Yule Scepter.
Yes.
He knows that no one's going to use that, so he actually cancels the animation and preps it for the instant stun. Bottom lane, we do manage to catch Fada. Looks like they just went Shadowblade LSA kill onto Fada. That's going to happen.
I didn't see who it was, but someone also canceled the Fiend script, because Solo did like the perfect job. He did the Nightmare save into a grip on the Mirana. Mirana was about to kill Lena with the Starstorm. Used the grip, kept him alive, but then instant
they're gonna run into each other. Puppey, he just got the Winter's Curse, but he already separated, so the Bloodright is gonna come out. Solo brain saps the neutral creep just to give himself some extra HP before he gets silenced. Pasha now thinking about blinking forward, going for the stun. Mid one instantly chains him. So no stun yet. Roger will not go up that high ground, and Winter's Curse actually placed out onto the Slardar. He's dangerously low here with the Splinter Blast coming in. Pasha, an extra nuke for the concussive shot as well, but they don't have the reach to be able to finish him off.
Does have a salve he's going to pop. They may want to re-engage here. Something does quite a lot is just buy this extra sustain, carry it around with you so you can just disengage and then re-engage right afterward. Feel like they can be so top. BP just feel to be playing a bit too fast. They're the lineup who has the Medusa. They also have the Slider to enable both Medusa and Lena in the late game. Their draft definitely scales better. With that said, Blood Rage Emperor is not saying to be scoffed at in the late game, but with how well they shut down mid one, it does feel like VP aren't the ones who have to be making these aggressive maneuvers.
Now, Secret can change the game around because they're coming into some pretty important items, but you're absolutely right. They're going to have to hit that really good mid-game timing around that Radiant for the Bloodseekers. That's going to be his second item after the Blade Mail.
Mid one recognizing kind of his purpose in this game is rushing a Blink Dagger. Kind of want to go a defensive item against this draft, but there's no defensive item that's going to necessarily save you. You have to rely on Puppey making plays on his Wyvern to keep him alive, and if you don't have initiation, someone's going to go at mid one, taking one for the team.
And so he's literally just trusting that Fada and Ace can carry this game, because I think an Ember Spirit that goes this early Blink Dagger when he's already behind in net worth, he's behind the Slardar right now. I think you just pretty much never become a hero unless you get some dramatic change in net worth between these two teams.
Yeah, somehow you survive a team fight and you get a bunch of gold from it, but more than likely he does not scale well at all with this build. You'd kind of expect to see like a Maelstrom rush, but Bata playing the Cormorant, we've seen this hero, despite having like a 50-60% win rate at the tournament, it's one of the highest KDAs. It just seems to get involved in every single fight, always gets kills and assists. Never seems to like disappoint in terms of damage output when you go this Maelstrom build, and this game no exception. Fata as a 3 position feels like he is more of a core, and well, he is a core as an offlane, but feels like more as like the 1 or the 2, and with a BKB, he's definitely going to add even more to his team's damage output.
We were kind of joking during the draft. We do have that level 20 talent for the Mirana, plus 25 mana break, which will give him, I guess, a small little advantage against the Mirana. Checks out the pit with the arrow, just to make sure VP hadn't snuck in there.
One of the worst level 20 talents in the game, if you're listening, Ice Frog.
Yeah. 12% spell amp for a level 20.
For a hero that has very little magic damage.
Jump in, poking, and the chains will wear out in time for Pasha to dodge the arrow.
I like that Pasha's got a Yule's queued up. These kind of dispel save items are what VP are so good at playing around. A Lotus Orb could also be really decent, purging off the Searing Chain. Just also some of these pesky silences like Skywrath ult may even protect you against a Winter's Curse.
Once again, we're seeing a combination that the Secret did not win the laning phase hard enough to be able to take over the game. And so they don't have great objective takers, so VP are just getting free towers at times. Deny from Pasha in that mid-tier 1 tower. They Moonlight Shadow up now already, managed to get the silence, but a Winter's Curse will allow mid 1 to be able to disengage. Medusa pushing forward, they still managed to catch him. Pasha got the blink stun. Mid 1 could not make it. Oh, and they got the extra hero, and that's perhaps even more important. Fada is going to have to leap away, but he still has the corrosive haze on him, and Pasha really wants to be able to chase him down. He is out of leap charges, and he's in the river right now, which means the Slarda, sprint just ran out. 5 seconds, though. He could just keep up the corrosive haze.
No escape. Fada. Very nicely done by VP. They had the sentry there, already prepped to defend them from that Moonlight Shadow. They were actually grouping up there to smoke. That's like the worst case scenario for Secret. They're smoking, hoping to maybe find a pick or find VP split up, farming in different locations, but VP had 3-4 heroes there, just about to go for a gank of their own. They already have the sentry down, and they got the immediate jump. Another great Nightmare play. The arrow was flying through on the to hit the Winter's Curse target, but the Nightmare meant that it dodged. The arrow just went right through his body, and that just enabled the Night Stalker to just go on chasing to help find those additional kills.
Hey, this was why Fogg was so adamant about Solo's Bane, right? He has had some great performances at this tournament and continues to do so in this game.
So few Bane players consistently utilize Nightmare assist. You may see it like once or twice as a clutch play, but it feels like Solo does it 5, 6, 7 times a game. It's a hero that's not really talked about as a save. That's normally like the Dazzle, the Oracle, Tusk, but Solo's Hands Bane is on par with those other heroes.
Yeah, it's like I don't really see him miss the saves, you know? Like I rarely see him mistime the Nightmare or something like that.
Already seen it now like twice this game, make a kind of clutch play with it. That team fight with the Arrow and the previous one on the Mirana as well.
Solo just dives inside the Roshan pit, just check things out. Now mid 1 spots him for a moment. Pasha setting up. Gonna go for the stun onto the Ember Spirit, or he's just gonna try and back out and they give the force over to Solo. Now he's still tucked in the river, and they're just gonna pop him from afar here with the Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare.
Even in death, VP looked so talented. He gets the brain sap off, like, and then Medusa's waiting till he's facing the right direction to get him to force stuff down. He's like, okay, I'm not going to force you now. I'm going to let you heal a little bit, then I'll force you away. And very well coordinated as they lose a 5 position terror. Not a big kill for Secret, who won't turn it into any kind of objective. Medusa just continuing to farm. The Skadi plus level 20 Talon is where she starts to look pretty unkillable, but she's not there yet, and Secret, as a result, wanted to kill her in this top lane.
They have that Radiance too for Ace. They feel, relatively speaking, strong. Even if they're still down 7k to VP, I don't think you're going to have a much better shot being able to win team fights. Arrow comes out, trying to spot behind that tower, doesn't actually hit anything. And all of VP are coming in. Now mid 1 still hidden inside the trees. Always setting himself up.
He doesn't care if he dies here. He knows his team, he's not going to lose. They're not going to lose a fight because he died.
Nightmare dodged Blood Right. Force Staff to dodge everything else. And you're right. He's okay with being initiated on. It's got the saving mechanisms. Even if he dies, he's a 5 position. No one. He's not actually showing himself. He could have used that time, showing all those heroes in the top lane, go, all right, guys, I'm going to hit mid. I'm pushing into their tier 2. But he's currently trying to set up a trap, expecting Secret to back out from that positioning that they have in top lane. It's just not the case. Secret is continuing to stick around and are going to try and keep up the 5-man into this tier 2.
Yeah, I feel like so many teams that works against. VP showed 3-4 heroes top, and then they'll be like, okay, we can't push. Let's go push up bottom and mid. 2 heroes go bottom, 1 goes mid, 1 goes to the jungle, and no one does find a pick off there. But Secret adamant they want to keep pressuring this top lane. They really want to force a fight. They know they're falling further and further behind. They don't see the gold difference, but they can see the level difference. Level 20 Lina, level 19 Medusa, and their cores are all level 14 or 15.
And sure enough, Ember Spirit does back out to push out that mid lane. It was hitting the tier 2, and that's exactly what no one was hoping for, especially with the double damage. Hit the LSA, and it should be enough damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those double damage shots make short work of the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, he almost messed up the stun at first because of blink forward, but quick animation canceling, he still hits it. Now with Corrosive Haze, so easy to turn this into a Roche play. Secret though with Arrow to scout as well as Winter's Curse.
Look at Solo just diving into the high ground once again. Gets a nightmare off, but gets blown up in return. Now his team is still doing Rocha. So Roger, this time it's his turn to just YOLO win. He's going to get ruptured up, drops dangerously low, but they do finally manage to finish up that Aegis. Here comes the arrow. Roger will sidestep that one, but he can't stop the Blood Right. He's just one shot away, and the Skywrath Mage will take that kill once again.
Roger's like, okay, if you'll throw all that at me, fine, fine. They understood, to get this Roche, you may have to throw a body. The only way that Roche goes poorly for them is if Winter Wyvern is allowed to walk up, somehow get in range at the pit, fly on over with an Arctic Burn and drop a Winter's Curse on 2 or 3 heroes. Lina hitting someone, a teammate with that double damage would have been catastrophic, but VP understanding that, they put Solo on the high ground by the Ancients. He dies. Okay, now it's Roger's turn. He goes up there. He's a bit tankier than Solo and buys the time needed for the DD Lina to finish off road.
And now that you've got an Aegis on a Dusa, it's like 5-minute window that Secret will not feel comfortable dealing with him one way or another. Maybe they don't want to take team fights as a result. Maybe when Ramses aggressively pushes down a lane, they're like, guys, are we really going to gank a Dusa with an Aegis? That just sounds like disaster in the making.
Yeah, so many of these games are around like the BKB timings, and Secret's BKBs are still not online. So this Aegis is going to mean, well, even when you get those BKBs, if there's still an Aegis on Dusa, you're looking at even later. It's typically like 25 to 30-minute BKBs where you group up, you fight, Aegis or no Aegis, but right now, like, the Bloodseeker BKB is coming pretty slow because you got Blade Mail Radiance first, Mirana's is just only now online as well.
Oh boy, this is a questionable one. They managed to get the Fiend's Grip onto Fada. Winter's Curse stops it, slows down some of these heroes. They pop the Shrine somehow. Fada managed to get away for now. Virtus Pro, though, they sense weakness. They're just going to keep pushing forward. Pasha has another initiation ready to go. Puppey pops the Golden Brace on himself. They do want to jump forward, trying to stop the initiation for Pasha. They get the Rupture down. Bane is going to drop the Skywrath Mage ultimate, but Ramsey is still fighting these heroes. And Pasha, they manage to get the Yule Scepter onto the Bloodseeker during that Blade Mail timing. Now popping the Snow Gate, slowing down these heroes. They do manage to kill the Slaughter Dart into the trees. They go with Corrosive Haze on them. They just can't actually get out. They're going to die eventually. Back down underneath their tier 2 with no escape available. And they just keep running on the remaining support Yapsters. All that left. Team Secret.
The fight you talked about, into an Aegis, you just shouldn't feel safe doing that, but at the same time, Secret understand their lineup is falling further and further behind. They try and force something. They know they're at their Shrine. They still have the Shrine active, as well as potential TPs in, so they bring their entire team trying to go all out, but because of the trickle-in factor, VP is able just to pick them apart one by one. Medusa ulti's there at the end to deal with the Mirana as well. And even with the BKB, Mirana just could not carry that fight by herself.
Yeah, I mean, Ramsey's just hit such a big spike, too. I'm sure they didn't know that, but he just picked up level 20 and Scotty. Like, that's a monstrous boost in just overall effective HP for this Dusa. So it was by far the worst time for Secret to finally just go, screw it, let's go for a fight.
Yeah, and it's so tricky for these Secret heroes, whether any of their cores to play Dota in these fights. They've got one BKB now, but they're just getting constantly disabled, hit by these crashes. Pasha has just been so good on Slaughter this game.
Look at Midwan trying to get away. Can't even jump to his Remnant right now. He's caught. Fada pops BKB. Fiend scripted out. Winter's Curse. Oh, that's a big one, actually. Laying into the Night Stalker. And Ace will have a lot of low HP heroes to go for. Bane's backline does get away. Yule Scepter onto the Bloodseeker once again. Follow up with the LSA. And they're just killing all this mobility of the Bloodseeker bit by bit. He's going to be slowed down by the Scotty as well. Another LSA to follow up the Cold Embrace. A TP out from the Winter Wyvern is successful. But again, it is another easily won team fight for Virtus Pro.
Able to outlast and just constantly chuck out spells on very short cooldown. Slaughter Crush having an 8-second cooldown. It feels like Pasha's getting 2 or 3 off the fight.
Okay, don't even lead with Crush, Pasha. Just lead with a guaranteed right-click bash.
And that will look to secure them this bottom lane. Ramsey's happy to throw away his life, knowing that there's only about 40 seconds left on the Aegis, and he'd rather lose it now than wait and lose it in the middle of a team fight. Bottom lag secured. VP can back off and fight another day.
What would you say went wrong for this lineup of Secret, right? Like, we're never supposed to be judging it at 33 minutes when it has a Scotty and everything else. Like, what would you say they didn't just quite accomplish? Was it the laning phase that didn't go well enough for them? Was it that 15-minute window?
I think I would boil it down to their key playmaker and their initiating hero has a bad laning game. Mid one is like doubled up by the VP cores. If there's one player that needs to have a good game this game, I would say it's mid one because he's the initiator and the playmaker. He's also a core hero. With all those things combined, he has a terrible laning stage. I don't know how you play the mid game as Secret because your Bloodseeker can't just go running in. He's going to feed to a hero like Lina until you have a BKB. I feel like they could have perhaps adjusted and rushed BKBs earlier because that's how you know, make up for not having a key initiator. Your core, like a Bloodseeker, just charges in BKB and doesn't care. But they needed to somehow give mid one a better lane, but I don't know if that exists once that Lina gets picked up mid. And they're the off lane. The off lane for VP is a Night Stalker, Bane lane like that. There's bad lanes wherever you go as an Ember.
Yeah, maybe the third pick Bloodseeker revealing that that basic lane setup, right? They couldn't really get out of it once they had Bloodseeker and Ember Spirit.
Yeah,
on the same team.
It's a very early Ember pick. Like they first 2'd it when VP had 4 counter picks, so they punished that by just picking strong laning heroes. There's no lane Ember can go to and have a good time when you've got a Night Stalker slider lane, a Lina mid, perhaps the Medusa lane, but even that, like, you're just going to get Mystic Snaked, and then you're giving Medusa a free lane. Secret chose to pressure the Medusa's lane, but the thing is, VP Medusa, this is the hero that catches up, doesn't have to have a good start because you're not the key mid-game hero. For VP, the mid-game hero is just like Slider, Night Stalker, Lina. They're not all in on one hero to make plays for them.
That's the beauty of this Lina right now. Such a strong hero, and that I feel like it's actually going to be a better carry than almost any of the heroes on Team Secret. I think it like beats out like the Bloodseeker and the Mirana and the Ember Spirit potentially, and then it could also just go around hunting like this and make the Ember Spirit's life hell. A bad laning phase combined with a Lina Shadowblade, it feels like you're never going to actually get the farm you need to be a true core.
Lina's got some level 25 mega attack range, something that always feels pretty decent, but it's going to feel even better with the Slider corrosive haze because you maintain vision. So many of these fights in that bottom lane, we saw Secret retreating into the trees, but they're still just getting right-clicked away by Medusa and Lina because of that vision aspect.
And you can stand next to the powerhouse that is the Medusa. She pops Stone Gaze. You're both just sitting in the back, right-clicking a bunch of people, and they can't fight into you.
Yeah. The other beautiful part about this VP draft coming together has been that vision aspect, and I'd say partly go back to aggressive. What went wrong is the vision game. VP were able to find all these pickoffs, control the mid game because they had superior vision.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about like the 4 awards that VP had placed down and probably a very key timing for Secret's lineup to go out and get kills. And well, it's going to be VP who are going to get another kill. Potentially, they actually were a little bit afraid of going on Ace there, not knowing how many heroes were behind him. It's a lot of opportunity with the Winter Wyvern to turn.
Harassing the Ember's farm there, but yeah, this Ember is going to have an Aeon Disc coming up soon. This item doesn't really change the game too much. Does mean he doesn't get bursted, but there's not enough damage output that staying alive matters. The game we saw where Secret got that like triple, quadruple Aeon Disc against the against Vici Gaming was like, you know, Vici Gaming had this big throw everything at you, burst you down, and then win the team fight after that. VP's draft is built to have these long, drawn-out team fights. That's what Medusa. That's Medusa in a nutshell. So staying alive with an Aeon Disc doesn't really win you a fight here if you're mid one.
Look at them, they're just baiting mid one as much as possible, hoping that they can get an exemplary Cold Embrace, Winter's Curse combo play. But VP, they have no rush. Chill out, get Roshan. That's going to be Aegis, Cheese, an Ember Spirit.
Yep. Find some picks here if Secret aren't careful. Like they'll walk into some creeps here. Bane. Oh, Vata.
Trying to take the fight here solo. Silence onto Pasha, stopping the initiator. That always helps, but solo, the big nuke comes out on Vata. He is able to leap away until Ramsey slows him down a little bit more. That last shot wasn't going to be good enough. He has Rupture on him, so he gives up on the chase there. They do manage to get the Eul Scepter from Pasha once again, stopping these TPs. Puppey will die a very slow and agonizing death, stalled out by that Aeon Disc.
Gives away his gem as well. Very tough stuff for him. No one at bottom lane.
And Noah just doesn't stop, man. Look at this guy.
He's expecting someone to pop up. He sees that radiance effect.
Oh, at the last second of his Shadow Blade, he still cancels his animation. Does manage to catch Ace, but Ace is healing off the creeps. And now no one. Blood right, TP out. All right, he's dead.
Cheeky little play from no one, going for the kill there, but unable. Didn't have the damage, didn't have Laguna. Now buys his Crystallis, so next time. Classic VP aggression, though. May mean they don't get a lane of racks off of that team fight, but ultimately not the biggest deal for them because they've still got their hands on an Aegis, and they're going to be very quick to regroup and refight once again. They're not relying on any long cooldown. They are always ready to go.
I think that's one of the big advantages, though. Once you become such a dominant team, you play with so much confidence and belief in your teammate. Like, no one can make those kind of plays, right? He fully believes that his allies can take the 4 versus 5 at top lane. He sees they start getting out, he immediately boosts down to bottom lane. Yeah. Sets up for that extra kill.
Yeah, so many times I feel like you cast like a team that's, you know, not like a VP level, and you see that play, and then the rest of the team will overcommit top lane in a 4v5 scenario, and we're like, oh, why'd they fight 4v5? You know, their Corlina was bottom lane, and they're not on the same page, but it just feels like VP fully understand how to take those smaller skirmishes.
Trying to work on Manta now for the Bloodseeker. None of these items are really game changers. Meanwhile, Virtus Pro, they're about to hit level 25 on their Dusa. And then you're going to have the Daedalus for no one's Lina. So both those two cores are just going to turn into incredible damage dealers.
Very, very scary for Secret, who are stuck in their own base. Late game, Dota, when you're behind 20k plus net worth against a Night Stalker, you just will not get vision anywhere on the map. You have to have a gem and play around, like deny any enemy vision outside your base, but Puppy, who just bought one, instantly loses it, so instead now you have to buy like 3, 4, 5 sentries and hope for the best.
They will catch Pasha. Gets Yule Scepter on himself, dodging actually the arrow. Maybe. No, he's going to be slowed down too much. Couldn't get the sprint off in time. He just got instant silent.
They're getting better at playing around the VP Yuleses and stuff, but it's a little bit too late. Deficit so big right now, but you take whatever kills you can get.
Well, maybe if we get to level 25 gods, we can get the Mirana Moonlight Shadow cooldown. They can play for those kind of pickoffs just non-stop.
Yep. That's where VP will be forced to 5-man a bit more. But hey, VP probably don't mind that because
they have a vision hero. They have a Night Stalker Axe Gem. What is Moonlight Shadow to them? They don't care.
Can be a direct counter to any around a level 25. The Secret just buy themselves some time, which is what you're looking to do. With that pick like that, it may just keep your another lane of racks alive against the Aegis Medusa.
LSA lands onto the Winter Wyvern Puppy, saved by the Aeon Disc. What a greedy play, by the way, from Solo. He went for the Brain Sap. They had a Nightmare on Ember Spirit, completely isolated. Okay. Oh, maybe he needed to pop. That's why. He needed to pop the Aeon Disc and still get Fiend's Grip off after that. That's why. I was like, why didn't he just Fiend's Grip right away? Well, would have been canceled.
Yep. Unlike Jewel or something, the disable gets purged off by the Aeon.
Look at Ramses. He's like, let's screw it. Let's just go to high ground, see what happens. And sure enough, Secret have to back away. And this is an Aegis Dusa with the BKB lying in her backpack.
So he wants to die. He's like, I got 20 seconds of this. Please, somebody kill me. But now that he's not dying, he's like, all right, I guess I got to just wait in this Aegis till expire.
Death will have to wait. Yeah.
They just see VP wait, keep on securing bounty runes, wait for like a double damage or something. Seen this bottle being passed back and forth a bit between the Lina and the Medusa, so potential for this to be the game-winning moment with like a double damage. But they
initiation onto the Wyvern. This time no AM Disc to be able to save him. Mid one tries to counter initiate, grabbing some of these heroes. BKB activated. LSA doesn't actually land. He jumps away to his Ren. Then Pasha is super low from the rupture. The arrow's going to come out. Spots at last second. Sleep also going down. Both saved him from the arrow. Mid one's just going to keep on trying to poke at him, but he can't get too close to this Ramses Medusa.
Double salve on him there, just in his backpack. He brings it in to heal himself back up so they can keep on staying on the enemy side of the map. Doesn't have to back off to heal up. KB's queued up as his next item, and that's when Secret can't find these kills on him. He's been one of the few targets they can initiate on and bring down without the BKB, but no longer be the case.
Virtus Pro seem to be respecting their opponents. They're not trying to close it out too quickly. They wait for their data list. Wonder if they're even going to wait for another Roshan by chance, because it just feels like they're just solidifying their win more and more as time goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And if your opponents are staying in this game when you feel like you've got the better late game, you've secured this game, you have this small lead, but they're not tapping out, they're doing everything they can to stall out the high ground push. That's where you say, well, they're gonna play to the bitter end, so are we. We're gonna wait out that next Roshan, wait for that DK Blada, wait for that final Styx item on like a Lina or a Medusa, and then you go from there.
Also, I don't know how much it really matters the mentality, but I know if I'm Virtus Pro, I'm enjoying this game one stalling out a lot more than Secret. We've all been in this position where you're locked inside your base for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time. It sucks. They're going to try and go on a Night Stalker. He scouts them out, easily jumps over to the cliff. Arrow in the back line, not going to land on Solo. VP just, again, they keep Secret from being able to finally push out, get some sort of team initiation. They're going to try and make a play of themselves, maybe try and blow up Ace. Ace does not get hit by that. In fact, he turns around and gets a Rupture onto Pasha. Now Pasha has to run out of blood, right? Buys himself a little bit more time. No one trying to turn to actually finish off Ace. That was so much damage. Oh, they do manage to kill the Bane, but a force snap up into the high ground. Ramses immediately pops his Banta, though, as he sees that buyback from the Bloodseeker and gets out.
The Winter's Curse killing the Bane, but not the end of the world. Some Medusa Illusion's going to deploy at the top lane, but ultimately, VP force a core buyback. They lose Bane. It is pretty damn nice for them, the position they're in, where even not the perfect team fight, doesn't matter. They get 4 bounty runes out of this. Big chunk of gold going their way. Very happy to, again, wait for this next Roshan, just utilize their vision advantage. The fact Night Stalker has an Ags and a gem there means when Secret smoked out to make that play, they were Moonlight Shadow. The second their smoke popped, he sees them instantly. Normally like a smoke pops at nighttime or something and you still have a chance to initiate, but Roger is the king of the night and instantly flew away, even with Secret's kind of team.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he knew that was a global concussive shot or not, but he sees that shot and he's just like, oh, I gotta get out of here. They might be running at me. And sure enough, they are. The smoke up from Secret. Arrow not going to land on Pasha. 3-man up by him with the LSA to follow it up. That's a beauty. Ramsey's going to be able to get all of these split shots in. First is going to be the Ember Spirit down. Now Fada has to jump over to the other side of the Roshan pit. Pasha's quite low once again with the Winter's Curse. That'll finish him off. But Ramsey, after killing his teammate, will kill some Secret heroes. They catch Fada as well as the Winter Wyvern. Give away some tips as well. Secret are going to be left without a buyback on their Ember Spirit and their Wyvern. And they're going to be forced to use their Mirana buyback if they want to have a chance at holding 3 versus 4.
Yeah, big creep wave, double siege wagon in the top lane. They are easily going to bring down this tier 3 tower, and the racks probably as well. I just don't see them defending. Without the Winter's Curse, without Ember Spirit, it just feels all over for Secret now.
39,000 gold lead, and we're reaching that final fight. Yapster's already gone. Ace is at half HP, has to jump away. The Mirana's going to be caught, slept up into an LSA. Now the Fiend's Grip onto Ace, and that'll be it. All she wrote for game number 1. VP, they certainly came to play today, God. They're looking like a team that could quite easily just go 2-0 in both their series.
Yeah, very dominant VP performance. Then from the start, it just felt like Secret didn't have the best laning stage where it mattered. Like they were close to even on gold in that first 10-ish minutes, but Ember was miles behind. It was the Mirana having a good game, and Fata Mirana definitely a hero that can kind of scale and carry you, but you need other heroes to work around them, and Ember Spirit was just not having a game whatsoever, and VP really punished that fact.
I mean, with clean play like that, I'm not going to ask you what should VP do for next